Hello everyone. Welcome back to this lecture in which we are going to talk about depth of a foundation, which is nothing but which is the distance of the base of the footing from the top surface of the soil. And yes, this depth of foundation is sometimes also known as a footing depth or foundation depth, and it is an important parameter when we are designing a particular footing. So, what are the parameters or requirements that you should fulfill while designing a particular foundation, specifically if we are talking about its depth? Foundation depth is one of the basic factors that control the allowable bearing capacity of a foundation material. In any case, this depth of foundation should be greater than or equals to the overburdened soil. Now, what is overburdened soil? That is the soil that was present above the base level of the foundation, and it is required as a requisite of the allowable bearing capacity. Also, its depth should not be less than any depth of debris or garbage fill material, because actually these materials are not preferred to be a material on which the foundation should be laid. Apart from this, peat and muck are also counted in the same category. Also, you have to maintain the depth of foundation to be more than the topsoil consisting of loose or organic material, because again these materials are also not preferred to be used as a foundation material in soil. And in that particular case, if the depth of these material are too high, then the material directly under the footing is removed and replaced with lean concrete or the compacted clean granular soil, such as clean subbase material, in an area relatively larger than the footing area. You can see this particular diagram for your reference. Now, generally, soils encountered within the zone of frost penetration remains in an unstable condition because of alternate seasonal freezing and thawing. Consequently, a footing located within the zone is lifted during the cold weather due to freezing of the soil pore water, and it settles down during warm weather due to thawing of the frozen water. Therefore, you have to note down here that wherever frost action is present, then in that particular case the depth of foundation should be kept more than the depth of frost penetration. So to understand this, let us see one more diagram here. See here, the depth of a foundation should have a total depth from the surface more than the depth of frost penetration, whether it is inclined or it is even horizontal. So that is to be kept in your mind when you are providing the depth of foundation in your construction area. Now, let us talk about the sixth point. I am telling you that the depth of foundation should be more than or equals to. The next point is about the zone of high volume changes. See, actually, this particular point is related to such particular soil which have relatively high plasticity, usually called expansive soil. Those who expand very much, especially when the water content is changed, that undergo excessive volume change by shrinking upon drying and swelling upon wetting. Consequently, such soil on which the footing rests will move up and down. This process can cause severe damage to the total structure unless the depth of footing is greater than the depth within which this large volume change take place. Whereas on the bridge, piers, abutments, bases for retaining walls and footings for other structures adjacent to or located in flowing water must be located at a depth such that erosion or score does not undercut the soil and cause a failure. So here you should also note down that the depth of footing should be more than the score depth if the footing is under the flowing water. So that is our next point, under flowing water. Now the next point that you should understand here is the difference in the foundation depth. See here, if there is a foundation that is already present in your location or in the construction area, then whenever you are installing a new footing, you should understand here that if a greater depth excavation is made for a new footing, then it is possible that the soil from the base of the older footing may flow towards the deeper excavation, and hence there should be a limit on the difference in the depth of these two footings. This is generally allowed by maintaining the maximum difference in foundation level, and here this difference in foundation level, that is B, equals to m by 2 is maintained for the footings that are resting on the soil, whereas it is kept equals to m for the footings that are resting on rock. So that is about the difference in the level of adjacent footings. These requirements should be satisfied to prevent shear failure and excessive settlement taking place in the supporting soil. Now, if a new footing is lower than an existing footing, then new excavation may cause the soil flow under the older footing towards the new excavation. Hence, here you should also keep in check that the safe difference in the level of footing should be around 2c upon gamma under root of k into sf. Here you can see that c is nothing but that is the soil cohesion, k is nothing but that is the coefficient of earth pressure, whether that is your active earth pressure or passive or at rest, whereas sf is nothing but that is a suitable factor of safety. Suitable factor of safety. So this is another formula that you can remember while calculating the difference in level of two footings. Apart from that, footings on the sloping ground should have sufficient edge distance of about 1 meter, that I have already shown you in the previous diagram. Here let me show you that diagram again. So here you can see that in this particular diagram you can see that the distance from the slope should be at least around 1 meter, and it is kept as minimum 90 centimeter for the footings on soil and around 60 centimeter for the footings on rock. It is not good practice to place footings on the ground surface, even in localities where the requirements of bearing capacity, frost section, seasonal volume change, and so on mentioned earlier are not the obstacle because of the possibility of surface erosion. So generally the minimum depth of the foundation should be kept more than 50 centimeter below the natural ground surface to avoid soil erosion chances. So these are some parameters or criteria that you should understand and also remember when you are designing your depth of foundation. So that's it for this particular session. In our next session, we are going to study or learn about some more concepts. Till then, keep learning, keep keep growing.